Alright, hello and welcome. My name is Xander. We've got a excellent cast here for you today. Looking like a lot of people have many levels on these heroes. Seems like it's going to be a pretty good game. Let's start off with our heroes on the Radiant side. We have Two Little Heart Eye playing the Crystal Maiden. I'm sorry, I cannot say your name on the Sven. Ditto on the Lina as well. We've got Pro S on the Tidehunter up in the offlane, and Please Mercy playing that offlane sniper that is just becoming more and more apparent in all of my pubs. Meanwhile, on the Dire, in a 5-man goon squad, we have the Mike Liu on the Shadow Demon, Woozy playing the Juggernaut, in Transcend on the Centaur, a 5-man Smoke, which is pretty wild, Geofreed on the Viper, and Scraw on the Grimstroke. And looks like we're going to get some immediate action here as the Radiant are smoking directly. As the Dire are smoking directly into the Radiant's jungle. Maybe going to look to find the Crystal Maiden and the Sven, but it looks like they've already crossed their tier 1, so the smoke might be wasted. We'll see what happens. Looks like they are pinging out. I don't think the Radiant knows anything about this, but they are moving back towards it. This might be dangerous. They do have the disruption. Centaur did take hoof stomp, and it looks like they are going to go in. Crystal Maiden does get disrupted. Is going to get the hoof stomp in time? He does. Sven tries to stun, get what he can, but that's going to be a dead Crystal Maiden. And what a first blood by the Dire. The 5-man smoke. Sven's just going to get the fuck out of there. Can't blame him at all. Centaur looking like he maybe wants to stick around, do a little bit of brawling, but Sven knows better. And great first blood here for the Dire. They did manage to get a ward up as well into the Radiant jungle. So in case Sven decides to farm up some stacks that CM makes for her, or for him, they're going to have vision on that, and they've got some pretty good heroes in terms of taking that out. I'm really interested to see how this offlane sniper goes, because he did start Boots 3 Tangos. It looks like this will be a core Tidehunter, and this is a 4 sniper, which is pretty amazing. He's very hard to hit. He's very fast with the boots. He's got shrapnel to slow people down. He's a nuisance. And he's going to do exactly that and just be a nuisance to this Juggernaut. Now, mid lane is going to be rough. We have a Lina against a Viper. Viper notorious for being pretty difficult to lane against. But Lina honestly doing pretty well. 2 last hits to nothing right now. As Viper may look to try and change that. Nope, doesn't quite get it. Wow. All right, so Lina, you know what? Actually doing really well. Grimstroke going on the pos for Sniper. Getting a little bit of damage in. Just saying, hey, get off my Juggernaut. You're a nuisance, but I'm not going to let you be that around here. Shadow Demon and Centaur doing fairly well against this Sven. Centaur has no last hits, though, which is pretty wild. Sven doing pretty well for himself, considering I think this lane's actually pretty rough for him. But he's managing to make it work. He's going to stun the Centaur. Maybe going to be able to do something, but, well, Q out from the Crystal Maiden, but the disruption is going to save him. He's going to be able to walk that off. Does have a salve. Probably just going to salve up, yeah. Get right back into fighting. Lina in the mid lane, doing totally fine. Viper's now level 2, so her life is hell. Shrapnel's coming out from this Sniper, who is just kind of being harassed away. This Grimstroke is doing an excellent job of harassing out this Sniper. This is when Sniper is at his weakest. You know, he's very low range. Doesn't have all of his take aim points yet, but does have Shrapnel, though. And we'll see if Tidehunter's going to be able to take advantage of that as they try and run him down, but the Inkswell's going to make him get out of there. Juggernaut maybe coming down to help, deciding probably not worth it. Sniper's going to try and chase down the Grimstroke, though. Can he finish him off? Doesn't have any shrapnel charges left. He's just going to run him down. This is the saddest way to die. He used the Fairy Fire. He's juking the Sniper with all that he can, and I think he is going to make it out here. Yeah, that's it. Oh! Okay, I stand corrected. I don't know what's going on in this game anymore. But it's doing pretty well, honestly. Down in the middle lane. 11 last hits to 7. Viper catching up a little bit. Sniper manages to get Juggernaut's Courier up in the safe lane, which is pretty funny. Honestly, really giving a show and making everyone know that Pos 4 Sniper is a real thing and that it's here to stay. This offlane Centaur kind of actually having a pretty tough time now. After that first blood, after that really big start for Shadow Demon, got him his boots, but they weren't really able to make anything off of that. They do get the side pull, though, but honestly, that's just going to give farm to Sven. Sven already has a level in Great Cleave. He's just going to hit the enemy creeps, take down some jungle with him, get some free money. It's going to be totally fine. Lina, big stun onto the Viper. She doesn't have any spells. She kind of just auto-attacking, but Dragon Slave's going to come up soon, and it is going to be enough to take out the Viper. Now, the Viper, the lane dominator, is going to go down to the Lina, and it looks like bottom is going to try and go on the Centaur, but not quite going to be able to get it. Shadow Demon comes up, gives Crystal Maiden one little bop on the back of the head. Hey, stop that, and walks away. Clarity popped by Sven, and they're honestly looking like in a really good position here. Sven only down 2 last hits from his position 1, or position 2, Lina in the middle lane. And Lina's against Viper, so pretty rough. Pretty rough for her, but she's managing to make it happen. Sven is as well. Sven, I also noticed, picked up the magic stick. Really, really smart. Pick up the magic stick against the Shadow Poison here, in case he decided to spam it, but Shadow Demon deciding better of it. It's pretty scary, right? I mean, Crystal Maiden is now level 3. She has Frostbite. Sven has a stun. If the Shadow Demon comes up and gets, like, double stunned, I mean, he could disruption himself out of the Frostbite, but it's scary. It's a lot of damage. Sniper moving up. It looks like we do have the runes coming up in about 50 seconds. Sniper came down to secure the rune for Lina, who does get a double damage, so we may see another kill down here in the middle lane. But Tidehunter, you know, doing what Tidehunter does best, bullying melee heroes. It's kind of tough, even for Juggernaut, who tends to do pretty well in lane. Just being able to spin on people, has a tough time against Tidehunter. The anchor smash is just nuts. And honestly, Radiant going very well, doing very well, despite the first blood, not letting it get to him. They're doing a great job. They have basically the net worth lead in all of the lanes, except for, I mean, even the Tidehunter's not that far behind the Juggernaut. He's doing a really great job. Grimstroke trying to keep people off of him, holding his level 3 point in case he needs the silence, which is pretty smart. Lina not popping the double damage. Doesn't look like she's going to go for the kill. But off lane, Gush onto the Grimstroke. We do have Shrapnel number 1 coming out from the Sniper. Oh, but the Inkswell is going to stop him. Inkswell into the spin. Gonna run down the Sniper, and it looks like he will die here to the Grimstroke. Can the Tidehunter get the kill and clean up? He will. Juggernaut gonna try and chase down the Tidehunter, but it's a Tidehunter, dude. What are you gonna do? Meanwhile, Lina in the middle, disruption. Laguna Blade onto the Viper with the double damage. That is gonna be enough to secure it, and the Shadow Demon is gonna get the kill afterwards. That was huge. You know, she was ganked. She was underneath the enemy's mid-tier 1 tower. There was no way she was getting out of that, and managed to take down the Viper before she herself died. That's huge. Probably the best play that she could have made. Meanwhile, bottom lane, classic Sven Crystal Maiden, just a farm fest. I mean, I don't really foresee anybody dying in this lane anymore. I mean, Centaur could die, but he's pretty tanky. He doesn't have Stampede yet. Looks like he may want to contest a little bit of this jungle farm. Says the Crystal Maiden. And Centaur takes the hint and backs off. Shadow Demon deep into the enemy jungle here, as it looks like he did manage to snatch the rune on the Radiant side. Very well played. This offlane Sniper, level 2. Very impressive. You know, he's giving it all to his Tidehunter, who is level 5, out-leveling this Juggernaut. But in the back, we do have the Grimstroke. I mean, what do you do here? They have the Ink Swell, but I mean, he has Kraken Shell. Is it going to pop? Is it going to be able to get him out of this? He does have the wand as well. He uses a Fairy Fire, but is he going to be able to make it out? The silence! He's going to be able to smack that off. Get it off, no problem. Tidehunter is going to walk out here. He even has a salve. He could just salve up and go right back in. Sven, like I said, cleaving this hard camp as well as the creeps. Just, oh, okay, big stun onto the Centaur. Looks like there's a Frost Nova coming out from the CM. A little bit of damage, a little bit of slow. Kind of unfortunate there. The disruption into the stomp is there. Centaur trying to block him as well as he tries to run away, but not going to be able to get him. Unfortunate engagement there for the Dire. They just didn't quite have enough mana on their heroes, but hey, great save from the Radiant. Almost stopping the hoof stomp with Frostbite, and Sven tossing out the stun, letting him know that he's here to be respected. Getting a salve up. Did pick up the Morbid Mask as well for the extra sustain in lane. I mean, there's no way that these two people kill you, right? There's no way that Shadow Demon and Centaur kill Sven, like, on their own. So he just needs to sustain through all of their attacks. Pick up the Morbid Mask. It was perfect. But the stun after the Frostbite, is this going to be able enough to take a Centaur? He is tanky. The disruption is going to stop him. He's like 1 auto attack away, but the wand, the stick, is going to save him. Not another stun for another 8 seconds, so it's not going to happen. Unfortunate. Oh, my goodness. Well, there was a Ravage top, and 2 people died. I'm going to say that it was probably thanks to offlane Sniper, who has just been a monster in this game. Good job, offlane Sniper. The Ravage had nothing to do with it. It was all you, buddy. Check out the net worth here. See where we're at. The Tidehunter doing really well. Lina, top of the net worth. Now, we talked about how the Lina would probably have a rough time against this Viper. Absolutely wrong. She has thrived in this lane. Done completely well for herself and is top of the net worth on the Radiant team and top of the net worth in the game itself, which is honestly pretty Pretty impressive. Next up, Sven, Tidehunter, doing really well. Inkswell trying to get the sniper. Not going to be able to catch him, but there is a Viper with double damage coming up now. This isn't the scariest thing you've ever seen heading up to your top lane. I don't know what to tell you. Juggernaut having a pretty tough time. Actually has lower net worth than this Tidehunter, his offlane combatant. Which, you know, Tidehunter's just been up here bullying him the whole time. Offlane Sniper's been around, hitting the Grimstroke, stacking camps, you know, de-warding, hitting, doing some sick pulls, and keeping the Grimstroke out of lane, which has just let Tidehunter kind of run himself all over this Juggernaut. But Juggernaut does now have Omni Slash, and it looks like he wants to use it. However, bot lane, it's like they're trying to get a kill onto the Sven. It looks like they did pop the ultimate, but they weren't able to kill him. Shadow Demon trying to go for more. Oh, the Shadow Poison will take him out. Unfortunate. Didn't have the stick to save him. Only a couple of charges. Did use the ult though. The Shadow Demon ult. There's an Ink Swell and a Blade Fury. A spin onto the sniper. It looks like he's going to try and make it away. Juggernaut does have the Omni Slash that he wants to use, but now Lina is here to try and turn it. Laguna Blade onto the Grimstroke is going to take her down. Viper's here to try and do something, but he's just watched his friend get obliterated in front of him, and I don't think he wants any of it. Offlane Sniper dropping more shrapnel, slowing them down. The stun is going to come out, but it's going to whiff. Gush coming out instead of the Anchor Smash. Now that is the worst target to Omni Slash, as Tidehunter is going to be able to walk away from that, but the spin is going to keep it going, and he is going to be able to take him down, as Tidehunter is not able to walk that one off. Ultimate Viper Strike onto the Lina. Into absolutely nothing. I respect it, but the Juggernaut getting a little cheeky, trying to come around here, maybe do something, but recognizes that the Light Strike Array is coming. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Disruption onto the Sven, who did use God's Strength. Did he get off? He did get it off. Big Crystal Maiden ult. He already used Hoof Stomp, so they can't stop this. They used both of their stuns, and Sven is going to be able to clean this up. Shadow Demon is going to try and get the bounty, just denies it, but I think that's going to cost him his life to do that, and yes, it absolutely is. Sven with the double kill down bottom. Excellent awareness there by Crystal Maiden, knowing they'd use both of their stuns and just popping, just sitting right in the middle, being as manly as possible, and dropping the ultimate right in their faces. And great cleanup from the Sven as well. Already has his Mask of Madness, farming incredibly quickly. I mean, this is already scary. He's got level 4 Great Cleave, and he's got Mask of Madness at 10 minutes. You know exactly where this game is going to go. They really need to get the Viper down here, I think, to bully him more. Because the more Sven has a free lane, the more Sven has a free jungle, the more problem he's going to cause you, especially when he's fed this early on. Crystal Maiden doing a great job, actually, getting herself some farm, too. We'll pick up that Tome of Knowledge just for a little bit extra, you know. Looks like she's maxing Arcane Aura, which is very selfless. Up in the top lane, we've got the Grimstroke dropping down a ward. Possibly looking to go on the offlane Sniper. Looking to see if he had dropped anything down as well. Doesn't quite find anything. Maybe want to defend this tier 1 tower. Oh. Sven does die. It looks like that was an ultimate by the Shadow Demon. Looks like they might want to go on this. Sniper does have another shrapnel charge, but he is offlane Sniper. He's got Tranquil Boots, Infused Raindrops. He's not doing a lot of damage. Arcane Aura now maxed out. They're not going to be able to get anything for that Sven's death, unfortunately. However, Viper has just come down to this bottom lane. Shadow Demon doesn't really have any... Oh, he uses the stick to get the mana for Disruption, and now Viper is going to come in and take down this offlane Sniper. Sven's trying to TP in. Can he get here in time to do at least some damage? It's a long TP to Outpost. He's got to walk all the way around. CM is here. Looks like Viper may want to dive her. The Radiant are here. The Radiant are responding. Frost Nova onto the Viper, who does run in. Viper dropping the Viper Poison onto himself. God's Strength coming out, catching the tail end of that Crystal Maiden ultimate. The Stampede is just barely going to be able to save the Viper, as the Centaur does get the stun of the Sven just to make sure. Meanwhile, all around the tree, around the bush, he could have ravaged. Okay, he could have ravaged. It probably wasn't worth it. Great play by the Shadow Demon, using the tree to obstruct the vision, TPing right out of there. And unfortunately, Radiant don't get anything back for that Sven death, despite the Viper diving so deep. Stampede was used, though. Got to keep that in mind. Haste Rune on the Grimstroke. We'll see if he manages to do anything with that. Doesn't look like it so far. Juggernaut, not really any items. He's got Phase Boots Wraith Band. You know, he's got nothing. He's got Poor Man's Shield, but he's looking like a poor man. You look at the net worth, and he's about the same as Sven, but he must have something on his courier. He's almost got a Yasha coming. I wonder if he lost her or something, but I mean, you compare the Juggernaut's items currently to Sven, right? Who has Treads, Mask of Madness. Now, it seems like the same amount. Like Juggernaut has a Wraith Band, and Sven has Mask of Madness, right? or Juggernaut has, you know, Wraith Band, almost a Yasha, Phase Boots. It's similar. But Sven also has Great Cleave and a Mask of Madness. Oh god, down in the bottom lane. Oh no. Oh, the big Ravage managing to catch 3, but the Shadow Demon ultimate is going to be able to finish him off. The snipe coming out from the offlane sniper is going to be able to finish him off as the Centaur tries to run down the Lina. Doesn't manage to get her. Sven is here. He does not have God Strength yet, but he does have the Mask of Madness. Does he want to engage? He doesn't. Grimstroke throwing out some of his first ability. Lina catching the Light Strike Array. Will she be able to kill the Centaur? It looks like she will. The last auto attack managing to take her down, but Sven bleeding in a lot of pain. He's not quite gonna die. The snipe coming out from the sniper. Assassinate. Not gonna be able to catch him. And it looks like the Radiant are gonna back off. A 2-for-1 trade there. 2-for-2 trade there, actually, right? The Tidehunter died at the start there. 2-for-2 trade there. Honestly, coming out a little bit in favor of the Radiant, who does lose Lina to the Juggernaut. The healing ward, unfortunate for the Sven. You know, he tried to pop the God Strength and man up, but he was just a little bit too low. And the CM gonna try and get what she can, but she's gonna go down too. And that is a triple kill for Woozy on the Juggernaut, who not only has his Yasha, but also a 10-charge magic wand. That's gonna allow him to, you know, basically solve any of his mana problems in case the Radiant decide to re-engage in the next few seconds. We'll see if the Dire want to push down to this tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, our Tidehunter friend up at the top is going to grab this Invis rune. Probably walk himself top lane or walk himself into this triangle here and get a little bit more farm. He's got a cloak. Might want to build it into a pipe. Quite a bit of magic damage on the Dire team. Oh, Inkswell on the Grimstroke, just using it for farming though. And yeah, the entirety of the Dire team is setting up around this tier 1 tower. They are looking to try and find this Lina. And they do. The Shadow Poison will scout her out. She does manage to stun too, but that's just too many heroes. She's silenced up, and the Centaur is going to be able to take her with the double edge. Excuse me. No creeps though, but yeah, they're just going to drop the healing ward. They're going to take down this tier 1 tower. Sven, not even going to bother trying to defend it. You know, again, he's got his Great Cleave. He just wants to farm. Only needs like 1 or 2 items. The BKB, and honestly, he's basically set to fight the rest of these Dire heroes here. Meanwhile, Dire farming with friends. Grimstroke getting a little bit beaten up by creeps. And just like that, by the way, the triple kill has put Juggernaut at the top of this net worth chart. However, Tidehunter coming back to show him why he was underneath the top net worth to begin with, as he just begins to bully him like it's minute 0 all over again. And down here, Dire have not left the Radiant jungle for the past like 5 minutes, but the disruption into the Hoofstomp is going to catch the double edge. Crystal Maiden's going to die immediately. What an awful time to be a Crystal Maiden. Very unfortunate. Great combo, however. Great timing there on the Hoofstomp by Entranscend on the Centaur. And still a net worth lead for the Radiant here. About, you know, 1,000. Not a lot, but Dire looking like they've pretty much taken over the entirety of the Radiant jungle. Sven having to stick to the triangle, doesn't really have any other places to farm, with Tidehunter pushing top and Lina pushing out the center as well. So he's just gonna wait. He's gonna wait a little bit. He's got his God Strength, or he's gonna fight middle. As the Grimstroke does catch 2, manages to get the silence on the Tidehunter, who does have Ravage but can't use it because he's silenced. He's gonna be able to get it off. He does. The Crystal Maiden dies in the chaos, but does manage to get off like 4-man Ravage. But the Stampede is going to take down the Tidehunter. Sniper is in the back. Sven is here, but he doesn't really want to engage. They're trying to get the Lina out as best as they can. Just want to give it for a 2-for-1. That's fine. Grimstroke is dead. Want to get out of here. And Dire wanting to push for more. They got the 2. Can they get more? They're not going to get any more. They're just going to take this tier 1. Be happy with what they've gotten. A fortification coming out from Radiant, but looks like it's just going to delay the inevitable here. A little bit of sniping coming out. Assassinate from the offlane sniper, and honestly some pretty good D push, some pretty good pokes coming out from the Radiant here. They might actually be able to save this tier 1 tower, and they do. The Dire back off. They just can't handle the Lina and the position 4 sniper. Very impressive. Who is building an Aghanims? An Aghanims on the sniper. I guess that does let your assassinate stun, so now he's gonna have shrapnel and AoE slow and a stun. This Juggernaut managing to get his Yasha. Wraith Band, not much else, honestly, and this is exactly what I was talking about. Like, from the last time we checked with him, he just had his Yasha and his Wraith Band. Now, he looks like he does have something on his Curry, and we'll see what that is momentarily. But the Sven, who has been staying out of these fights, now has his Echo Saber. This is all he needs. Like, Juggernaut, Yasha, sure. Yasha phase, looks like he got a... Okay, he got a Basher and some Clarities. Sure, you know, he's pretty fight-worthy. You know, he can go in, he can Omni-Slash, he can do a lot of damage. But I would be way more afraid of this Sven right now. God's Strength, Echo Saber, Mask of Madness. These are cheap items that Sven has farmed incredibly quickly that make him a monster to deal with in these fights. And Juggernaut knows that. Does not want to deal with that Sven, even with Omni-Slash. Omni-Slash, you know, might be able to kill... Oh, but Sven's just so tanky, right? With the Warcry. 2,000 HP with those treads on Strength without even using God Strength, which will... Oh, that doesn't give him Strength anymore. Ooh. Anyways, 2,000 HP on this Sven. Very difficult to kill. He's life-stealing. He's cleaving your entire team. That's going to hurt. A lot of good vision here by the Dire as well. They've got some deep wards into the Radiant jungle. Some very effective. Like, this would be pretty hard to scout out. You could put a sentry here, but... And then another one to protect their own high ground as they are smoking back into the Radiant jungle. They might be able to find this Lina who's going up onto the high ground, and they do manage to find her. They get the disruption. Unfortunately, that's going to break the silence, but I don't really... Okay, the Yules are up, which means they do miss the stun, but they do... Oh my god, they dropped the Shadow Demon ult on top of her, as well as the Inkswell using a lot of abilities. It was kind of a clusterfuck, but you know what? They got it done in the end. The 4-man gank onto Lina, and Lina's down for 40 seconds. Lina having such a great early game against that Viper. 7,000 net worth now, dropping underneath her hard carries. But honestly, still above the Viper. Despite the fact that Dire are doing some really great rotations here and putting on a lot of pressure, being very aggressive, they're not really getting much money, right? They're not doing a whole lot. They're stopping, you know, 1 or 2 people here. They didn't even get the tier 1 mid. Oh, by the way, top lane. The Juggernaut will go down, and that's exactly what I was talking about. Didn't manage to get the Omni-Slash off, but looks like Sven, again, just stuns, uses God's Strength, and he walks at you. What do you do? This Sven's a monster. It's very scary. Viper has an Ogre X. Will probably look to build a BKB soon, but... I'd really like to see probably like a Heaven's Halberd for the Sven, but I think the BKB is really necessary. I mean, you got to deal with Ravage, you got to deal with Lina, CM. You've got so much magic damage, so much control to deal with. The Tidehunter is going to beat on the Shadow Demon just a little bit. Send him out of his jungle. Viper getting the Dragon Lance instead of the BKB. Totally fine pickup, very standard for Viper. Extra attack range, extra agility will go a long way. Keep him out of the fights a little bit. And, yeah, it looks like Sven, Juggernaut, fighting for top net worth right now. As they're a bit unsure what they want to do. Team is spread out. Everybody just seems like they want to farm. Dire, you know, their aggression has been stopped. Juggernaut, I think they see that Juggernaut maybe needs one more big item before they can really commit to like a big team fight. But they do have the blink on the Centaur. If they have the blink on the Centaur, he's got a hood. He's very tanky, very difficult to kill. Smoke on the Shadow Demon, as he's probably going to come down here and look to... I was going to say to ward, but he actually doesn't have any wards. I think he's coming down to maybe disrupt somebody and set up a kill for this Viper. But no, the Radiant aren't having it. They are far away, and you know the Dire can tell as they look at the ward they've got there, which did actually get scouted out by the sentry, by the position 4 sniper. Well played. Centaur coming down. Now, the Radiant do know that the Dire is pushing their bottom lane. Do they know about the Centaur? They are pinging out the Centaur. Shadow Demon is pinging out the Centaur. But what is going to happen here? Tidehunter pushing out the lane alone, leaving the squishy supports in the back. Very smart. This is, like, the perfect target for people to go on Radiant. Like, this is the hero that Radiant wants you to go on. So for Tidehunter to just be standing out here, just doing his own thing and trying to get disrupted and hoof stomped, that's ideal. But Dire not going to take the bait. They're going to rotate towards the middle lane as Crystal Maiden is standing here very bravely, very valiantly to try and defend it. A little bit behind the tower. Gets one stack of Shadow Poison. She's going to be fine. But the Centaur is setting up a little bit behind her. Oh, but a death up top. Looks like another double damage from Lina. God's Strength from Sven. I heard an Assassinate too from our buddy the offlane sniper. And that's going to bring down the Juggernaut. Now Juggernaut is really their only damage in this game. We got the blink stomp from the Centaur, but that's not really enough to take out the CM, as now we come to the real issue, which is where is Dire's damage? Big deny by Big Tide. Very impressive deny. as the tower is just getting slapped down by the Viper, but Tidehunter said absolutely not. Dire looking like they still want to maybe do something about it. Goes for the blink, but doesn't quite get the hoof stomp. The Aghanim sniper. Oh, but the Stampede being stopped by the root. Is Tidehunter going to be able to get the Ravage off? They are bound together. CM and the Tidehunter. He is silent. He's not going to be able to get the Ravage off just yet. He does get the Ravage. It manages to catch 2. Sven is here. He has teleported right in. Does have the BKB. No God Strength, but the Mask of Madness is going to be plenty to be able to take down and clear up the remains of this Dire team. As Shadow Demon, the only survivor, running home to tell Juggernaut what the hell just happened in this lane. Well played by the Radiant team. The Frostbite onto the Centaur to keep him from running away with Stampede was honestly huge. Kept him right in place, and then Centaur re-engaged with the blink during that fight as well, which was maybe a little questionable. And now, turned on its head. You know, it was a little bit back and forth. Dire did have a little bit of a lead there as they were being more aggressive and pushing into the Radiant's jungle, but now Radiant up 4K, pretty big difference. And it looks like a lot of that difference, honestly, is coming from this Sven. This Sven and this Lina, who have just been doing incredibly well. Sven almost 2K gold ahead of Juggernaut, which is very impressive. We checked the gold difference here. Yeah, about 5,000 gold, 4.5 thousand gold, and a lot of experience in favor of the Radiant. You can see where the Dire were doing so well in terms of aggression and in terms of kind of pushing the advantage that they had. But now things get a little scary because Juggernaut needs to be with his team. He needs to be able to fight along with the squad. But Radiant's getting very tanky. I mean, they have a pipe on Tidehunter. We've got the Aghanims on Sniper, which is just a free long-range stun. Like, instant free long-range stun on a 13-second cooldown. That's pretty incredible. Just gonna pop a shrapnel and get out, though. He realizes that, you know, it's pretty incredible, but probably not a good idea to stick around, as the Dire is gonna do what they do best, what they've been doing since before the game even started, when they 5-man smoked and come right back into this Radiant jungle. They're gonna put some wards up, get some control over it, and see if they can find anybody. But the Radiant, they're just spending their time on the other side of the map, and Dire are kind of just wasting time, farming with friends. They're setting up for kills that aren't really happening. They look to try and find them. Maybe they'll meet up here in the middle, but they just barely don't spot each other. Radiant are grouping up. Looks like they might go for a smoke. Yep, they do. Do have a smoke on the side of the Radiant, looking to give a Dire a little taste of their own medicine. Tidehunter, no blink dagger, but I mean, he is ready in 10 seconds with a big Ravage. Warcry coming out with Sven just to make them that little bit faster. They do see the Juggernaut and the Centaur. They know he's there, but I think they want to get this Viper, and they are going to go for him. Will they get the Yules off? He does have Hurricane Pike. He will send himself away. Stop the aggression of the Yules. 2 TPs coming in from the Dire side, but it looks like they really want to fight this. They're going to force it. Sven pops the BKB, but he's leashed. He can't get forward. The big Ravage manages to catch 2, and they're going to be able to take the Viper out almost immediately, but the Disruption will save him. Juggernaut jumping in, but this cleave damage from the Sven is to be able to take him down. Centaur doing what he can to stop this Crystal Maiden. He does get an amazing ultimate off. Manages to hit 2, but no. They will take down the Crystal Maiden, but now Sven cleaving down 4 for 1 on the side of the Crystal Maiden. And now the entire Dire team falls. What a huge fight. Now, look at this. This was best case scenario for the Dire, right? They got an amazing soul bind that kept the Sven from being able to attack for like that early part of his God Strength, right? He couldn't even attack. Juggernaut used Omni Slash and just didn't do any damage. Like, just nothing. Like, the Radiant team is just so thick, so painful, so tanky, so hard to kill that Dire are kind of limited on their options, and now Radiant looking to push that advantage and take this tier 2 tower. Offlane Sniper here as well. Does have a gem. You know, the Dire have been very offensive with their wards. This gem pickup is actually really smart. They're going to be able to sort of shut down all of that early aggression, shut down any more aggression, any kind of comeback with a smoke gank. The Sniper's going to be able to shut that down, and honestly, that's kind of what Dire needs right now, is they seems like they've read my mind and are going to go for it. They're going to try and find the Sven, who is maybe a bit alone. Does have a little bit of backup. The Sniper's relatively close, and the smoke does get popped as the Shadow Demon will find the offlane Sniper. And yeah, the Sniper's going to go down, but that's not really the target that you wanted. Looks like Shadow Demon really wants to ult the Sven and will manage to get the ult, and the Dire's going to keep chasing with Stampede. Sven does BKB. He's going to turn around. Has the Aghanim. Superman punches right on top of the Shadow Demon. Inkswell. He's going to be able to save himself. Juggernaut. Big. Oh, Again, oh, the Soulbind does not work because the Aghanims is going to send him right out of there. The CM, Ghost Scepter trying to stay alive, doesn't manage to make it out. Viper. Crystal. Oh, the Shadow. Oh, but the offlane Sniper died. That means they lose the gem. Honestly, great turn from Radiant. You know, the Sven manning up, not trying to run away from the Shadow Demon ultimate. Turns around, stands his ground, and honestly, that's the problem that Dire faces right now, is what do you do against the Sven? I know I've said it before, but it's tough. However, great smoke from Dire. They did manage to get 2 for 1. Unfortunately, it was the 2, you know, bottom of the net worth heroes on the Radiant team, but hey, they'll take it, you know, whatever it'll take to get them back in this game. Is we'll see that that does dip the XP a little bit, slightly back in their favor, dips the gold slightly back in their favor. Juggernaut going to spin TP just to keep himself a little bit safe, as looks like Radiant may want to set up for this Roshan here. Putting a couple wards onto the high ground. Actually, just a sentry, making sure that it's not warded herself. Now the team really looking to take Rosh at this point. Tide solo taking this outpost, which is pretty funny, but gets blink stomped by the Centaur. Gonna get long range stunned by the sniper. Abyssal Blade coming out to stun him. Lots of damage coming out as well as silence. He's not going to be able to ravage his way out of this, which is kind of a problem, but Sven is here with the Superman punch. The Laguna Blade is going to be stopped by the disruption, and Sven can't move forward. The Soulbind has stopped him. Viper ultimate onto the Sven, but it's not enough. Look at how little damage he's taking. Omnislash does come out, and it looks like Sven will fall. Crystal Maiden in the middle of all of them. She does not have ultimate. She's going to have to try and run away. She does have the Ghost Scepter. The Shrapnel to slow them down a little bit, and what a play from Dire, honestly. Managed to lock down the Tide just a little bit as long as they needed to keep him from using that Ravage. I think if Tide was not silenced there and was able to Ravage, that Sven would have been able to turn and clean everybody up. Now, unfortunately, Sven did not have God Strength for that fight. That could have been a huge game changer, but big for Dire. You know, Dire really trying to claw their way back into this one as the gold slips back towards their favor. Grimstroke just doing a little bit of damage to Rosh, just making sure that nobody's trying to be cheeky, trying to take it. Juggernaut level 20 now, going for an MKB. I mean, it's a lot of damage, right? And that's what you need. That's what we've been talking about, but I don't know. I feel like he could have probably safely gone Butterfly, especially against Sven. I mean, Sven is nowhere near an MKB at the moment. You know, he's got his Ags, he's got Echo Saber, he's got all the items that he kind of wants, but he's, you know, 4,000 gold away from an MKB. But Jug wants the damage, and I can totally respect that. Crystal Maiden, this Ghost Scepter has been paying dividends. Crystal Maiden, by the way. Repair kit, found by Shadow Demon. Gonna be able to hold on to those towers just a little bit longer. Still has Sniper's Gem as well, which is really good for them, as it seems they've been able to deward the entirety of their jungle, with exception of this lone sentry ward, which it's not gonna see anything. However, Lina trying to go for the Juggernaut. Will stop his Clarity. That's the big play right there. That's the game winner. The game changer. That Clarity stop. Now, this Grimstroke, honestly, his Soulbinds have been incredible. Most of his Soulbinds have stopped the Sven right in his tracks and kept him from being able to run at people and hit them, which is exactly what he wants to do. However, this Soulbind is going to catch the Tidehunter and Crystal Maiden, which, you know, unfortunately is not the target you want, as Sven will show you, exploded as he goes right in with the Stormhammer, one-shots the Grimstroke, who desperately tried to run for his life. And, yeah, that's why you Soulbind the Sven. Unfortunately, it wouldn't have even mattered, because Sven would have just Stormhammered away from it, but, you know, that just goes to show why Sven is so scary and so deadly in this patch right now. And Radiant gonna take advantage of the death on the Grimstroke. No lack of Soulbind, lack of Inkswell, and they're just gonna take this Rosh, and they take it so fast. They didn't even have Gush for the entirety of that Roshan, basically, and they got it. They're going to put it on Lina, which, you know, makes sense. Sven doesn't really have a lot of space for it, and he's already pretty tough to kill. Meanwhile, bottom lane Sniper clearing out this, stopping this push from the Dire. This lone offlane Sniper, as he does manage to get a couple of shrapnels, but, oh. The shield from Hood of Defiance was stopping the shrapnel damage, and that allowed him to blink. Actually, pretty amazing. Buff Shrapnel, guys. Shrapnel isn't good enough. Juggernaut has his Demon's Edge. Not too far away from his MKB now. Maybe about 2,000 gold away from it. Honestly, kind of far when you think about the fact that Radiant now have an Aegis on the side of Lina. You know, they're probably going to start pushing with it soon. Dire are going to reclaim their outpost, and then we'll see what they decide to do next. not believe they have a smoke on any of their supports. They do not. So smoke out of the question for the Dire team. We'll see if they decide to maybe just run up the high ground with some wards or something. And it looks like they might do that as he throws out a Shadow Poison to check, but is actually just caught. The Stormhammer not dispelling the Yules because it was Lina's. And oh my goodness, just killed in 2 hits. But the Omni Slash doing quite a lot of damage, not managing to kill anybody. Sven, the spin, doing a lot of damage. Sven hopping right in with the Stormhammer, his ultimate, cleaving down the Juggernaut, who's not able to get away. The Centaur is going to die as well. The Centaur is the tankiest member of the team, and he just exploded the Viper as well. The Laguna Blade is going to finish him off. Crystal Maiden does get the slow, does get the Yules, and this Groomstroke is going to fall. Ultra kill on the side of Sven. Now, that was really a really unfortunate start because the Shadow Demon threw up a Shadow Poison, which was kind of smart, right? You want to check the high ground, it gives vision. But the Lina was right here, and the Shadow Poison came up right here. She was able to see it and managed to turn on it, but great communication. The Sven hopped in immediately. The Sniper was, the Assassinate was there. Honestly, amazing plays by Radiant. Unfortunately, Ty was not able to get the Ravage off. He was kind of the main person soaking all of the Omni Slash damage. I love watching that Aghanims. But again, that's the person you want to eat the Omni Slash damage, is the Tidehunter. So it kind of worked out perfectly for Radiant. And again, Dire's kind of lack of damage really showing here as a 14k net worth lead in favor of Radiant is going to help them push right up into his high ground. And wow, that combo. Assassinate into Stormhammer, and you're just under the question mark coming out from the Sven. Yeah, I agree, buddy. Very dangerous because now, like, you look at the range of Sniper's ultimate. This is the range that you cannot stand in. Because you just get stunned, and then Sven right behind it. Big Ravage manages to catch 3. Almost catches the Juggernaut on the other side of it. Sven blinking in, but actually gets Soulbind as he comes in to kill the Viper. Shadow Demon's gonna die as well. God Strength popped by the Sven as the Juggernaut's trying to clean up the Lina in the back. Will manage to do it, but now Sven just one-shots the Centaur, unfortunately. Oh no, and the Juggernaut rooted up by the offlane Sniper, and he's gonna go down as well. And yeah, it's looking very, very rough for the Dire here, as that is another 4 men down for the Dire. Jug does run to the back. He does run to the back and get the Lina, but look at this Sven, look at the damage! Cleaned up by the offlane Sniper. And now, 21k gold lead for Sniper. I don't see how you stop this. I mean, you just, at this point, you kind of just have to YOLO it, right? You have to build a Rapier on the Jug, do something crazy, but Dire's gonna be able to take a lot from this, you know. No buybacks. They probably have 1 buyback on the Juggernaut. He could probably do it, but it's not enough. I mean, you have your whole team, and all you were able to really kill was Lina, and she's totally fine. She's happy to make the trade. She almost has an MKB. She's 300 gold away from an MKB on Lina. And it looks like the Radiant are going to be able to walk out of here with 2 lanes of racks. We'll see if they manage to push for a 3rd. Viper trying to stop it as best as he can with the Nether Toxin. The big snipe coming out. Big Assassinate coming out from the Sniper. Shadow Poison. Looks like Dire may want to chase a little bit. They know the Lina's not there, and they're about to have their Juggernaut up in 6 seconds, but Radiant just going to back off. And now, how do Dire hold this is the question. I mean, maybe a big Blade Mail, even with Blade Mail, because we've seen Centaur pop Blade Mail in these fights, and he just explodes. I mean, Sven has BKB, right? If he slaps you with Blade Mail and he's got BKB, what do? You don't do anything. Retaliate's not doing anything. Blade Mail is not doing anything. They just found a Prince's Knife for the Crystal Maiden, which is pretty amazing. They'll probably give that to the Lina. No, she wants an Enchanted Quiver. Okay. Oh, no. She sent it away. Looks like she is going to take the Prince's Knife. Very good on Lina, as it gives her a ton of extra attack range on her already crazy, or a ton of projectile speed on her crazy long attack range. But Dire trying to make a last-ditch effort to get back into this game, as Juggernaut does manage to scout out the Tidehunter, but they don't really want the Tidehunter. Lotus Orb is going to be able to stop the disruption a little bit, get it onto the Shadow Demon as well, but look at how much it takes, the combined might of 5 heroes on the Dire to take down that Tidehunter. They have to use so much to get him. And it's a good kill. It's a good kill on the Dire. It does bring it back in their favor a little bit, and now the Radiant don't have Ravage. But look at the net worth. 15k on Juggernaut, 25,000 gold on the Sven. He's 10,000 above your hard carry. Like, this is the person that you need to find in your smoke ganks, but it's so hard. He's playing very safe, playing with his teammates. The Crystal Maiden is basically always just a little bit behind him, as well as the Sniper. The supports are doing a great job of making sure that he's alive. But, you know, the Dire are going to take what they can get. They are building a Halberd onto the Centaur, which is going to help a little bit against the Sven aggression, stop him from attacking a little. It's kind of what they need to do. They just need to kite him, you know? They can't kill him. They don't really have the damage to kill him. They just need to kite him and kill everybody else. Unfortunately, the Shadow Demon looks like he got spotted out by the Sniper. Oh, but takes him with him. 1,000 gold. 965 gold towards the Shadow Demon. Oh, but now Sven diving into the middle. Did use God's Strength. Did use God's Strength. Oh my goodness. Is just absolutely slaughtering everybody and just Stormhammers his way right out of that leash. Doesn't care at all about the Soul Bind, as he's just two-shotting the entirety of this Dire team. Question mark again coming out from the Sven, as he's confused why they would even think to fight him when he's in the position that he's in. Oh boy. And now, well, you can look at buybacks here. I mean, nobody on the Dire has any buybacks available, so it seems like the Radiant are going to be able to walk up to this high ground. A DD on the Lina just for good measure, who does now have her Monkey King bar. They're going to be able to take this lane of Rax with absolutely no problem, and honestly, it looks like they're going to be able to take the game as well. Yeah. Great game played by the Dire. I mean, I think they just needed a little bit more aggression onto the Sven at start. Sven was given a free lane, and he was just able to dominate. Uh-oh, Shadow Demon, don't come up. You don't want to come up. It's dangerous. You don't want to see what's come up. Oh, your support's no good. Play like carries. Oh, there's a lot of BM coming out from the Radiant side, as Sven Supermans his way right into the fountain. Doesn't care. BKBs. Just gonna walk out of there with no problem, as looks like the Radiant are gonna farm them just for a little bit. Look at the attack range, the projectile speed on Lina as well. Viper trying to do something. Centaur's got the blade mail. Maybe he's gonna try and kill somebody, take him with him, but again, the BKB is gonna stop anything like that from happening, as the Ravage is gonna be able to catch the Centaur and the Viper. We'll see if this Sven wants to go for him. He does not. Yeah. The Radiant are just toying with them at this point. I mean, what can you do? The Sven's a monster, level 28. Oh my god! Dives right in the tower. It does actually die. I think Juggernaut gained 3 levels from that, but unfortunately that's not going to be enough for a comeback, as the Ancient will fall, and Radiant will take this victory. Well played to the Dire, well played to the Radiant. Absolutely crazy the way this Sven played, and honestly, big shoutouts to the offlane position 4 Sniper, who I did not give nearly enough credit. The combo between Assassinate Stunning into the Stormhammer, YOLO with the Ags, was pretty incredible. But yeah, that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching the cast. Thank you so much for coming by, and if you enjoy it, let me know. Like the video, I run a service on Fiverr as well, where you can get your own games cast. You can check me out there. And yeah, have a great one.